Early life in the kingdom. The Lord Buddha was born as the son of the king of the Sakyas. His father's name was Suddhodana Gautama. Suddhodana was married to Maya. Queen Maya dreamed of the birth of her new son. It was a unique dream which told the holy men a great event was to occur. Suddhodana summoned his Brahmins, the wise men of his court. The wise men told the king and queen that a son would be born to them, a son who could become king and rule the world, or who, if he should choose to leave his house and forsake his royal power, would go forth amongst humanity out of compassion and become a Buddha, the wisest of men. King Suddhodana gave his son the name Siddhartha Gautama, meaning the victorious one. His birth took place on the full moon of May, causing a brilliant light to spread over the earth. An infinite and splendid radiance permeated all. Queen Maya died when Siddhartha was 7 days old, and Siddhartha was brought up by his aunt, Prajapati. Prajapati became Suddhodana's second wife, and she loved Siddhartha as if he were her own. King Suddhodana doted on Siddhartha. Suddhodana himself was said to be industrious, conscious, and just, and trained Siddhartha to be a competent man of affairs like himself. Siddhartha sat in the judgment hall, where there was an endless procession of worldly and selfish argument, about which Siddhartha learned to pronounce law judgments to his father's and onlookers' delight. They called him a seer. Buddha also practiced knightly skills, such as horsemanship and archery, chariot racing and wrestling, jousting and lance throwing. Yet he had no heart for winning or wrestling. He detested hunting and eventually gave up athletic sports. He did not like to inflict the pain of losing upon his opponent and would rather purposely miss the mark. One day when he was hunting, a flight of swans streamed across the sky. Siddhartha's cousin Devadatta sent forth an arrow which caught the lead swan on the wing. Siddhartha heard the swan fall and came forward to help it. When Devadatta came to claim his bird, Siddhartha would not give it to him. His argument was that it should be in the hands of one who would look after it, and not one who would harm it, and he felt they should go to a holy man to decide who was right. A holy man appeared and declared the swan should be looked after by Siddhartha. Devadatta was eaten by resentment, and in the future he was to become Gautama's enemy. King Suddhodana was wary about his son's gentle habits. Prince Siddhartha was behaving more like a Brahmin, and he was disinterested in the business of ruling a country. He even began to be bored with the fun of being a prince. During the festival of the spring ploughing, when the ground was broken and made level to receive the new seed, the prince sat under the shade of a rose apple tree, and he began to reflect upon life and contemplate the tragedy and suffering of life. King Suddhodana was not happy when he heard of this, and he consulted with his counsellors, who suggested the Prince Melancholia was due to his need for marriage. The king wasted no time in informing the nobles to bring their daughters to the palace. The day of meetings was arranged. Siddhartha was to receive them one by one. He had beside him a tray of lapis lazuli, gold and silver, given to him by the king to give to the girls he most admired. Counsellors were in the room noting anything that might indicate his interest had been captured. But Siddhartha was courteous to every girl and handed jewels to each of them. When all the jewels were gone and all the girls had been introduced, the prince rose to depart. Yasodhara entered. She approached Siddhartha. The tray was empty, but he took off his own ring and gave it to her, and then all of his jewels and his necklace he gave to Yasodhara.